Fucking Antifa again, man. It's happening again, isn't it? So this shit's kicking off. I'm gonna let's make sure there's no audio on that. Right. Yesterday, Portland again. Antifa and the Proud Boys. They're just basically organising fights with one another now. That's it. There's and it's sad, and it's got to the point where something needs to be done. I think ultimately, the characterization of the Proud Boys as white supremacists and Nazis is false. It is false. They just, but that's their religious ideology in terms of the far left. That's what they do. They convince themselves it has to happen. They remind me a lot of those, the God hates fags people. It reminds me a lot of that sort of fundamentalist thing. Now, for a few years now, the Proud Boys have been holding meetings, which is basically just going to the pub and having drinks together. And their crime was they love America. They describe themselves as American chauvinists. They think America is the greatest country on earth. Now, that is not, you might agree with that. There's a reasonable argument for it being the greatest country on earth. Of course there is. On several factors, but it's not an unreasonable opinion to hold. Now, if you believe in no borders, if you genuinely believe Donald Trump is the white supremacist antichrist, which he blatantly isn't, but if you genuinely believe that, for someone to say, I love America, I think America has the best political system, I think America is the best country to live in, I think America is better than other countries, that's their crime. Not only that, it's a men's club. Men congregating, getting together. Well, that's not allowed, is it? They need to be sat at home alone, contemplating suicide. They can't get together, enjoy one another's company. They can't possibly support Donald Trump. The Proud Boys is also a multiracial organisation. Phenomenally so. Now here's the thing. I think the Proud Boys, at its core, should be allowed to go. Should be allowed to survive. It really should. They should be allowed to legally get together. As long as they're not breaking the laws. But here's the thing. One of them goes to the pub, and the Antifa people send out messages to each other. And there's been false alarms of pubs being invaded by Antifa just because they thought a Proud Boy was there, and they weren't. But they just fucking invaded it anyway. Fuck it. Because they're up for a fight. Now, I think Antifa are in the wrong. That stuff in New York, they went to the Proud Boys. They go to the Proud Boys over and over again. And the media just covers it up. Far-right violence. It's like, well, hold up. They've every right to go to a bar. Now, that's how it was. It's escalated now. The rhetoric has escalated. Every time the media cover for them, it escalates. Well, if the media isn't gonna cover for us, then we're gonna have to defend ourselves. They turn up in body armor. Antifa turn up in body armor, and it's just escalating more and more. And for some reason, Portland is the center of this. Both sides bust people in. Both sides bring people in. Whilst the majority of us are just like, for fuck's sake, man, why? And this has to stop now. I'm on the side of Proud Boys on all this, ultimately. People who respect the rule of law. People who actually respect the police. Now, but it's gone too far. You know, if you're turning up like this, all weapons and everything, and I get it. You've got a legal right. It's a First Amendment audit. You know, we were talking about this the other day. First Amendment isn't just free speech. It covers you actually going wherever you want. That's the whole point of it, right? So, yeah, they should have a right to do this, and I don't know what's going to happen. But Portland at the moment, the police are being muted. The mayor, who is also the chief of police, is telling the police to stand back. And it's really, really depressing, man. Like, it makes me really, really sad. Let's have a listen to this. No, let's start this again. Race traitor.
The badge designed on everything. The star. Race trader? Yeah. For you to be a race trader? To be part of the neo-colonial machine.
Now, I love this. They're calling him a race traitor, and there's the Coon as well, Uncle Tom. Oh no, Coon's in another video. They're literally just screaming Coon at another black officer. Now here's the thing, man. Uncle Tom, this is racial abuse. Of course it is. Fine though, fine. Everyone's gonna share pictures of World War II and go in the original anti-fascists. Yeah, they were also proud of the country. So how do you? Isn't it weird they have to go all the way back to World War II just to go, look, what we're doing is right? And it's like, well, it doesn't really square me away with these racial, like with a gang of white people wearing black masks, screaming and shouting racial abuse at people, policemen, people who aren't communists, and there's no fucking racism. There's no fucking racism on the left. Fuck you. Anytime I see that, oh well, I joined Labour because I'm anti-racist. Go fuck yourself, you fucking idiot. Look at this. This is my favourite one. This is easily my favourite one. Look at this.
I'm not touching nobody.
Any other situation, a masked white man fighting with a black dude, or African American as they seem to call it, or person of colour, which is a very racist way of putting things. Any other situation, this would... Can you imagine Covington kids? Do you remember the Covington kids all stood there in the MAGA hats? You imagine this? If they all had MAGA hats on instead of the bandana. Imagine bandanas and MAGA hats and they were doing this. The world would stop still. It would be hysterics.
Good, you're good, you're good. No, I'm talking about this.
Sir.
You fucking help me, you fucking weirdo. Sir, please relax. It's okay. Don't let hatred be in your heart. It's okay. Just let go. Just take a deep breath. Just let it go. The hatred is not embedded within us. It's created. I like this guy, bro. He's wise as fuck. Do not give
Hatred's not...
birth to hatred.
He's literally telling him to let go of his hatred.
Hell yeah. Just get back the hat. No.
Why?
Let go of
cause?
it.
What cause?
Let go of it.
Why does it cost something?
Let go of it.
What is the cost of it? At what cost does hatred come? At what cost?
Let go of it.
At what cost, my sir? That's all
Let
I'm
go of
asking.
it.
You have brought...
Look at this white guy, this masked white guy giving orders to a black man. Can you imagine this if it was the other way around, politically speaking? Look at him making demands of him. Because white people, they've just got that genetic... This is how they talk. This is how the far left talk at the moment. That it's just white people are just genetically disposed to want to dominate and oppress black people. Well, here it is. Here's your evidence.
It's not yours.
It's not yours either.
I didn't take it off of your head. Let go of it.
Now, what right does that give you any right to take off somebody else's head that does not see it in
go
the
of it.
perspective?
Let go of it.
I'm just curious. I'm trying to set wrongs, just trying to ask questions and gain knowledge. Why?
Hey, everybody, I'm wondering if we
I'm not fighting. I'm being very serious.
He's trying to get back stolen property. This masked gang member stole something. Stole a MAGA hat. Which last time I checked, you've got every right to wear in America. But these people convince themselves they are a religious cult. They tell each other over and over again, the MAGA hat is the same as the Klan hood. The MAGA hat is the same as the Klan hood. The MAGA hat is the same as the Klan hood. All they want to do is wipe out other races. It's white supremacy. Whilst they're all white and masking up.
I believe that no one's fighting. I'm just trying to de-escalate this situation right now because we are surrounded
You
by
snatched it out of my...
and you're currently
You
surrounded
snatched it out of my hand.
I did not snatch
We
it.
don't
No
want
one
to be on
said.
cameras with like a bunch
Let
of
go of
random
it.
Fucking
people.
ridiculous. Fucking ridiculous. And it just goes on and on. Look at this guy. Look at this big guy here. You know what? Respect to this dude, right? Respect to this dude. They've got a black guy on board. He ain't wearing no mask. I don't know what they've told him to get him to turn up here. I mean, he's still shouting at a journalist. Check this out.
Get over on the other side.
This is public space. I can be here.
Get over on the other side.
Sir, man, I have no quarrel with you.
It's not about a quarrel.
Okay.
It's about you fucking spying, and we asked you to
I'm
go
not
over
spying.
there. So now if you get hurt,
That's on you.
Okay.
Oh, really? Was he
not
asking
how
for it?
things
Yeah.
are supposed to go.
You're threatening him, and he's like, "It's on you, mate. It's on you." I love these videos. I love these videos. Look at this. This is a genuine mob. This is a weird one, right? A hammer thrown at his torso. This has become a point of propaganda, and I don't know the truth of this yet. I don't know the truth of it yet, because he had a hammer thrown at him, and then you see him with the hammer, so you don't know if he's got the hammer thrown at him. If someone throws a hammer at me, I'm gonna get it. So they've then taken pictures of him with a hammer, and I mean, ultimately, they're attacking them on their bus as they're trying to leave. So the fault does lie with Antifa. In terms of him swinging a hammer or whatever, at that point, it might be legitimate self-defense, but I don't know. I don't know. It's hard to tell because it's just gone too far. It's pure chaos at this point. Portland police appear to be retreating or leaving. Yes. Oh my God. And they did. And there's been a lot of footage at the moment of the police literally leaving and then Antifa coming in and just beating the shit out of all people, which is insane. Like this guy here. Oh, they've not got the footage here. Hey, there's Greta Thunberg. They literally kicked the shit out of this guy. And the reason being, in fact, let's see if we can find it. No, it's not there. Oh, is that it? Is this it here? Fucking arseholes. It needs to end. It needs to stop. Desperately.
Crazy bitch.
Right. I can't find the video right now. I've got it saved. I'm not going to search for it because I want to move on. They literally surrounded this couple, screaming at him, "Nazi, go home! Nazi, go home!" Right? They literally did. And then one of them hit the woman. That's how it went down. I for some reason, I thought I had the video up, but it's gone. No, I've not got it. One of them hit the woman, and then the husband pushed that guy, and they were like fucking raps. They mobbed him.
You guys gotta move.
There she is. That's the woman here.
Get the fuck away from me!
Disgusting animals. They need to pass a law. They need to say no more masks. These people need their masks taken off. Full stop. Similar laws were passed because of the Ku Klux Klan. Similar laws need to go here, man. This is disgraceful. They are just attacking whoever they want to. And ultimately, they're communists. They don't want freedom. There's bad people on the other side. I'll say that. It's gone too far. It's elevated now. It's, you know, there was a point when I would firmly stand by the Proud Boys, but it's gone to, why are you organising these fights? It's ridiculous. But I get it. I get it, though. Because if the Proud Boys organise anywhere, Antifa will go to them. They will bus in and they will attack them. And they will be celebrated for it. So I get it. I see how it's escalated. And to be honest, I don't see how it's going to get any better. I really don't. Hey, Graham, isn't it time to get rid of the mayor? This is Robert. Yes, 100%. He needs to go. He needs to go. Chappie has said that it's either Antifa or Soros funded. I mean, I don't like to simplify, just think things in terms of Soros. But yeah, obviously, groups that... I mean, it's hard. No, I don't want to play that game. I don't want to dance in that. Yes, he funds certain groups. Or there's certain groups where he's paid into and yeah, they do. But for me, I'd be more worried about Antifa in this country who have direct funding from the government. That's more worrying to me. We were talking about that a few weeks ago, weren't we? Was it Newcastle or Sunderland? I think it was one of them. It was up that way. Directly funded by the government. Government grants. That's more worrying to me. If a private individual wants to fund things, then they're allowed to do it. I don't like playing the funding game. It doesn't help. So what? Yeah, Soros is funding him. There's people of all political persuasions pouring money into certain groups, and what we're going to do about it? It doesn't. The problem with me is the problem with saying Soros funding, and I get why you've said it. I understand, but it doesn't move us on anywhere. It doesn't get us anywhere. You need to stick to the point, the conversation. I understand the context, but it's like, but I don't care. Not all of these people are Soros funded or funded by people who Soros has connections to, blah, blah, blah. Not all of them are, but even if they are, so what? Who cares? It's the same thing goes on the other side with the Koch brothers. Oh, the Koch funded are you? Blah, 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 blah. And it's like, so what, man? You need to deal with the argument. You need to deal with the situation. I don't like the who funds you thing. I'm very uncomfortable with it. It's got like the IEA. They stand up for capitalism. They stand up for economic freedom. And everything constantly is who funds you, who funds you. The reason they can't disclose who funds them is because activists would then ruin the lives of those people. They're trying it now in America with Trump. That guy doxed a load of Trump's. I mean, obviously the information was publicly visible, but they boosted it and put it out there as a threat. And so I don't look into the funding too often. I mean, for some organisations I will do, because, you know, if they're claiming to be, you know, there's a Stop Brexit one at the moment whose parent company is specifically covered legally to not do any political, to have a political opinion covered by the chat. I think it's relevant there, but I don't know. What, you tell me, what is the relevance of Soros? What really, ultimately, what is the relevance? Because things are always going to be funded by someone on all sides, everywhere, apart from trigger warning. We just slag everyone off, so no one's throwing money at us yet. Little Glob has said, just keep everyone fighting and hating and we'll stop questioning the system. Simple. Well, maybe, yeah. I don't necessarily think it is as... Well, here's the thing. In terms of the media, you know, if it bleeds, it leads. Ultimately, doesn't it? So it's not like the I see what you're saying. They want to protect certain things, and it's good for them if people are fighting. But I don't know. I'm not so grand about it in terms of, you know, there being a system. I don't know. I think Aiden's a little bit more on that side than me. But yeah, I certainly want to get rid of it. I want freedom. I want individual freedom. Of course I do. And that means getting rid of most governmental systems. Mr. Kelsey once said it's like the old footy days with the fans having scraps. Yeah, my dad used to do all that, getting in a van. And I hear tell that people used to take a lot of speed, amphetamine, and then they just go and meet up. And you know what, though? It's a weird one, that, isn't it? Because it was... I don't feel bad about it because it was consensual. You know... Fans from one team wanted to fight fans from another team. They knew they couldn't do it near the stadium, so they'd meet up in alleys. And you know what? Good for them. Idiots, but good for them. Let them do it. I don't give a shit as long as they're not attacking civilians, normal people. As long as it's not like this, because this is attacking civilians. That's the thing. These people aren't consenting necessarily. But yeah, Robert's saying it's going to take the citizenry of Portland to yell enough. It is. And ultimately, the citizenry of Portland are going to be stood on the Proud Boys side of things. They're going to have to be. You're not going to stand with the people in... I mean, there'll be a few people drifting today. I mean, that big black fucker there. But ultimately, they're going to stand with the Proud Boys. Of course they are. Because, you know, you go up to the Proud Boys and they'll talk to you. You go up to the Proud Boys, they're not wearing masks. They're every shape and size and colour you could imagine. You go up to the other people, and there are a load of white people who we know just refuse to discuss anything. No. Don't talk to the press. Don't talk to the police. They're literally shouting racial abuse at the police. Going around randomly spraying people with pepper spray. It's disgusting. It's beyond disgusting. Can't stand him. I hate the left and racism. Look at him in his gladiator hat. Look at him though. Look at him. This is a gang. It's getting out of hand though, isn't it? When people are turning up dressed like gladiators, it's only going to end badly. Look at the fucking state of him. They want it, don't they? They want one of them to get hurt. Apparently the police, someone turned up with a gun. Police fucked him up. An Antifa person, by the way. Oh, it's disgusting, isn't it? Disgusting. I can't even believe it. I can't even... There it is. Apparently he had a gun, so they fucked him up. Fair enough. I like the unicorn dancing, though. I think that's adorable. Look at that. It's cool, though, isn't it? Savages. They're going back to savages. Let's see this. A black man praises Jesus on a ball. Let's have a look.
Ain't no fucking white Jesus gonna save the black man from the white man's oppression. Fucking Uncle Tom.
Uncle Tom. The white man's oppression. You're standing with the oppressive white people, mate.